Hi, my name is Emily Izzo, and today I'll be discussing cases related to land use and other property rights, as well as the validities of local ordinances. The first case I have is the City of Malden versus Robert Zeraschi. Robert Zeraschi had operated an unlicensed open-air parking facility in Malden since 2010. The City of Malden believed he was in violation of City Ordinance 6.47, which is adopted pursuant to General Laws, Chapter 148, Section 56. Malden brought this action seeking 1, a declaratory judgment that Zeraschi's operation of an unlicensed open-air parking lot violated the ordinance and statute, and he cannot operate the lot until he obtains a license, and that he must pay all accumulated citations, and 2, permanent injunction enjoining Zeraschi from operating his lot until he obtains a license and requiring that he pay the accumulated citations. Zeraschi counterclaimed that fees imposed constituted an illegal tax. The Superior Court judge ruled Zeraschi's operation of his open-air parking lot violated Chapter 148, Section 56, and Malden's ordinance, but denied Malden's request for further declaratory relief and for an injunction, concluding the city had not shown that the requested injunction was in the public interest. Next. Zeraschi continued to operate his unlicensed parking lot after the judgment was entered. Malden filed a complaint for civil contempt alleging Zeraschi violated the declaratory judgment against him. The declaratory judgment the Superior Court decided was that Zeraschi is operating an unlicensed open-air parking lot in violation of the ordinance and the statute. This did not fully declare the rights of the parties. Malden argues that this should have prohibited Zeraschi from operating his lot until he applies for and obtains a license conditioned on him paying his outstanding fees. To obtain declaratory relief, there must be a real dispute caused by the assertion by one party of a duty, right, or other legal relation in which he has a definite interest in circumstances indicating that failure to resolve the conflict will almost inevitably lead to litigation. When a complaint meets these requirements, the judge must declare the rights of the parties even when relief is denied. Next. Here, there was a real dispute as to the legality of the ordinance. The judge should have reached the question of whether the ordinance imposes an unlawful tax on open-air parking facilities. The second issue is the permanent injunction. Here, where there is a statutory violation alleged, the judge's public interest analysis should specifically consider how the statutory violation impacts the public interest that the statute is intended to further. The court ruled here that the judge did not correctly apply this standard. The judge, instead of focusing on if the requested injunction would harm the public interest, instead focused on the availability of other remedies. This was an error because Malden needed only to have shown that an injunction will not adversely affect public interest and not that an injunction is superior to other available remedies. On remand, the judge should consider whether, and if so, how the requested injunction will adversely impact the public interest that Chapter 148, Section 56, and the ordinance are designed to further. And the judge should also consider whether Malden's licensing fee amounts to an unlawful tax.